Welcome to the Vector Garden. In this tutorial, we're going to create this background design that you can use for your next project. I'm going to start with those black lines. And for that, I'm going to draw a rectangle. And let's just make it black and have a couple of copies. Let's just drag it down with the Alt key pressed and then use transform again with the shortcut key, which is the D. So now we have this and I'm going to randomize their lengths. So let's go to Object, Transform, Transform Each and set the origin to the right. And now we're going to use the scaling, but they only need to be scaled horizontally. So turn this off and scale them horizontally. And this now needs to be randomized. So just turn on random. And if you do not like the randomization, turn this preview on and off until you get something you like. It will always be a different version, maybe like this. So let's go to OK. And we're going to make a symbol out of it. So open the symbols panel and just drag that into it. All the options do not matter. I'm just going to name that lines. So now we need to distort this. And as you can see, they look as if projected onto a wall here and then onto the bottom there, and there they are curved. So we need to get this kind of transformation. And there are several options in Illustrator for distortions. One is an envelope, but in this case, what we can do is map this to a 3D object. But we need the 3D object. And for that, I'm going to draw this curved thing. And these all need to be smooth points. I'm going to reduce the handle length slightly there, and then let's give that a color and make it thicker. It can be as thick as you like. It shouldn't be too thin because then you get some errors with the 3D effect. And now we need to really make sure that we get smooth points, and for that I need to outline that stroke. So let's go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke, and we need to check those points again. Let's zoom in here. Now this is a smooth point, but this isn't. And the other one isn't either. So let's select them both and make them into smooth points. So now it's smooth. And also we need to take care that the handles are equal. So there's no handle up here, but we need one, because this influences how those artworks are distorted when mapped here. So let's create this, and for this one as well, probably like that. And now I'm going to apply the 3D effect to that. We need to use 3D Classic, revolve, and we need to revolve it the other way around and have some offset. So that's a pretty large offset here. And we also do not need the full circle of this. And let's just rotate that. You can see Illustrator is producing a lot of errors when rendering that. So that is something you have to keep in mind, that Illustrator can give you errors with rendering, and then you have to adjust the shape and maybe the options of this 3D effect. I need something like this. And now that this is done, we're going to map the art. We have 7 surfaces, that's fine. So let's check them out and see. We've got a nice shape that has both the bottom and the wall. And now we can map the symbol here. Those are the lines. And of course, they need to be rotated. They need to be the other way around. And then we can scale them. I do not scale them proportionally because actually it doesn't matter a lot. Let's move that to where we want this to be. And also, of course, you can scale that like this maybe. And then in the end, invisible geometry, and go to OK. And now you can still rotate this. And of course, we need some perspective, because that's what causes the dynamic look. By applying perspective to that, make sure to not apply too much perspective, because then you get a lot of errors and Illustrator will have a lot of issues rendering that. And again, we need to rotate it a little so that it looks the way we need it to be. Like this, perhaps. I'm going to move that slightly. Once you have adjusted everything, exit that effect setting. And now in order to get the actual lines, in order to colorize them, enter gradients or whatever you want to style them further, what you need to do is go to Object, expand appearance. So now we've got a lot of invisible objects and a lot of clipping mask and stuff. So you see in the layers panel, we've got this group, and we can go into there. You see a lot of invisible objects that we can first all select and then delete. And then we are left with this here, and you see there's another clipping path that we're going to delete. And in the end, we've got all these lines, and you can easily apply gradients to them. And this is pure vector.